Okay, perfect. So let's start from where we left off. So during the last class, yes, so last week we were not able to do the class because of small medical issue which I had. So now we'll jump back to it, and so we need to do a cover-up class as well, which I plan to do that on Wednesday. I'll communicate the details on the chat itself. So let's see how we can sort it out and restart with another day. Okay, so what we did so far was we came through the we started the unit 6, and we came up to the point where we talked about word and the word processing and these sections in the word application. Okay, so I stopped at a point where we talked about font sizes, and we finished at the point where we talked about font sizes. Okay, so we are going to start from the next point, which is about text boxes. Okay, so as you guys know, this is basically a cover-up session about Word. So you guys might have used Word multiple times before. I guess you might have used it. So Word has few features in it. During the last class, please do check that video on my YouTube channel. You can find it under the IGCSE ICT video collection. Okay, so you can find the previous videos also there, and just search through the unit and you can find the unit 6. Okay, so starting from the text boxes, so up to that extent you can find the rest of the details in the video. So starting from text boxes, simple as that. So guys, as I mentioned you during the last class as well, we are going to go through this in a kind of like in a manner of a speed run, because the goal is to finish unit 6 as soon as possible, so that we can then jump back to the papers and we can do the revision. But at the same time, during our next class, which is starting from 6 to 8, which we will be starting from the beginning of revision. So I'll give you guys a glimpse. So I'm going to start doing this based on the revision notes available on Save My Exam, because this is the latest revision notes for IGCSE Edexcel. So this is full up to date because this was updated last year, and during every class I will share this document with you so that you can start from there. Okay, so before we jump into that, that's the next class. Now let's quickly do the speed run and go through the unit 6. So text boxes. We have Siluni in the class, right? Okay, Siluni, you will be joining the next class as well, right? Okay, perfect. No problem. So yes, so yeah, let's simply go through the text boxes. So it's all modules which is there in the system. So let's see how it works. So I still have this sample Word file which I created last week, and I am using, okay, let me show you the version as well. So I'm using Microsoft Word for Mac. Okay, so I am using a Mac, and this is the Mac version of standard version which came out in 2021. Okay, so if you are using an older version of Office Word, you might see a little bit differences here and there about the colors and all, but the functionality, as I said before, the functionality and the structure is almost the same. Okay, so only thing which will change is the position of these buttons. Okay, so and when you are using the Windows version, again still only the colors and the still some positions of this will change here and there, but still the structure and the functionality is 100% same. At the same time, you might be using something like an open source platform, open source tool such as what do you call it, OpenOffice or LibreOffice. So all these, they do also have the same feature set. The only thing is their UI and the functionality might differ a little bit. Okay, so I hope that part is clear. So let's jump in and see what is this text block is. Text block or text boxes. Okay. So text boxes, interesting things. Where now so why do we need this? Simply in a Word document there is a certain structure which Word follows. Okay. So the structure means, now example is you can see here, this is a paragraph. In this paragraph you must go according to the structure. Example is, if you take a space here, then see this is locked, right? Now if you want to add another text area or a text box in one of these locations, technically it is impossible to do that, because you won't be able to select it. Give me 1 second. Give me 1 second. Hold on. Just got a message on WhatsApp, that's fine. Okay. Nice. Okay. So I was explaining the block structure, right? So if you have done, if you have created documents in Word, you know that there is no way for you to have two particular blocks next to next, unless you go with a table, which we will get back to in few minutes, or by adding a text box. So where do you have the text boxes? Now in this case, under insert, under the insert option, you can see the insert option is on top here. So when you click on the insert option, you get the insert ribbon. We call this the ribbon. Okay. In this ribbon, you do have the option called a text box. So you click on the text box and you get two options given to you by default, which is one, to draw a text box, or the second one is to draw a vertical text box. Okay. So it's either it's going to be a horizontal text box or it's going to be a vertical text box. Why do we need verticals? Let's try the vertical one first. So let's say if you want to add a text box on the side of your document like this, then the available option will be this one. This is a vertical text box. Okay, see, you can see that this text box is now assigned into the page and it is displaying vertically. Okay, so this is how you basically put content in a vertical text box. And at the same time, you can notice, so if you take if you keep your eyes here, see what happens. See these icons. Now this is a list, right? List and numbered list and multiple different types of lists. So we tried this out during the last class. Now see how it works. So if I click here, you can see the text is on the horizontal order, and when I click on this, keep an eye on the icons, it automatically switches the side. Okay, since it's a vertical text box, it switches the sides to whatever the side which that text is aligned. Okay, now let's say we can do some fun stuff. So I'm just going to copy Control C and Control V, and let's say if we add this text box into the other side of the paper. Okay, and let's say you want this text to be displayed other way around, I mean the other orientation. Okay, all you need to do is just click here and you can rotate this block. Okay. So likewise, you have the option to rotate it. See, now we have two text boxes with either either side of the rotation, and you have the details there. Okay, so that's how the text box work. And then let's try to do a normal standard text box, where you just select the text option, you go to insert, you select the text draw option, and you can draw a text box. So using the text box, now I can place it wherever I want, right? Because this is not technically part of the text, no? So we can place it wherever I want, and I can put the text here. So just to make things easier, I'm just going to copy this and I'll put it inside the text box, and let's center it, and perfect. Now we have a text box. Okay, so that is how the text box system works. Okay, so it allows you to place text boxes at any location you want, and the fun part is it does not stay aligned or oriented with the text. Now see, even if I bring the text up, still the text box will stay on top. Okay, like this. So that's how the text box work. Now let's see the next option. So now we talked about the text boxes now. So let's see, when we go to this one, we can actually try out something else. So this is for the text box when you want to align it. Otherwise, you do also have another option where you can create columns. Okay, so columns in the sense, where do we see this now? Example is like if you take a newspaper type of a layout, which is known as tabloid. Okay, so these layouts are known as tabloid. So how do you do this? You basically have an option to actually come up with a certain set of columns. Okay, now I'll leave this as it is, and let me add some content. I'll copy this and let's paste it here. Okay, now let's try out the columns. So you go into insert, right, and then you have a here you have the option of getting the page options. Okay, so like what type of a layout you want. So in this case, we can get into a certain set of tables or columns by attaching more items. Okay, so let's first click on view and let's get the guidelines. Ruler. Where's the ruler? Cool. Yeah, we have the ruler, and in the ruler, when you click on this, you can actually come up with a layout, and in the layout you can come up with a certain set of guidelines. Anyway, let me show you what we can do. So you can actually come up with the easiest thing is you can come up with something like this. You can then align this into another tab. Okay, so then what happens is this will basically bring it into a certain set of columns. And if I add this to another column, likewise we have the option of creating multiple columns in. Okay, so why the reason we do this is, if it is a newspaper layout or some sort of a specific layout, then we actually need to have these columns active. Otherwise it's not going to display this in a proper way. Okay, so you have to try this out and see how it works. So that is about the columns, and give me 1 second. Let's properly do this. So I'll undo it. Okay, hold on. Okay, now let's say if we want to convert this, so all you need to do is you just need to go to layout, and under the layout you have the option called columns, and here you can select how many columns you want. Let's say if we select 3 columns, see, the entire layout is changed into 3 columns. So this is how you manage to build or write tabloid layouts. Okay, so that's one method. Now the next method is, I'll just undo it and I think I enabled guidelines. Oh yes, guidelines. Okay, nice. So that's one way of doing it. Huh? Okay, the other way of doing this is by using tables. So tables would be the next most easiest option, and obviously when we are using Word and when we are creating documents, tables is a must, right? You need to have tables. So let's create a table and see. Quite easy to create tables. All you need to do is you just need to go to insert, and under insert you do have a table option. Okay, so this is where it will allow you to, it will give you the option to select how many rows and columns you need. Okay, so you can see when I move my mouse over this particular set of blocks, it gives me a table size. Okay, let's say I need a 5-column table with let's say 5 rows. I can do like this, and when I click on it, it will automatically draw me the table. Okay, so these tables, they actually give you few options in it. Tables will give so yeah, if you click on this, you can see there are like different table layouts. So if you click one of these layouts, it will automatically style the table, right? As well as you have some options. So let me put some text in it. Almost done. Okay, nice. Okay, perfect. So we have some text. Now, arrange or alignments, right? So aligning is one of the most crucial things when it comes to tables. So we have to align the content in a specific order, right? So how do we do this? We have the align option. You can select all the items, and you can go to the layout tab, which will only get visible if you are working on a table. Okay, so let's say click here. So look at this area. So when I click here, it will automatically give me this new tab called layout. Okay, so in the layout tab, we have few options like to add and remove columns and all. But first of all, let's understand the direction. So we do have this alignment. So likewise, you guys can see. Okay, let me select this again. And when I change, see, the alignment changes. Okay. So likewise, we have different alignment options to keep the content aligned in a system. Okay, as well as now since this is a table, you do have options of adding cell gaps as well. So let's say if I add a cell margin of 0.1, see, automatically a margin on top is added. So let's say if I want to add a margin bottom also, I can do this, and if I enter, automatically a margin bottom is also added into the blocks. Sorry. Give 1 second. Okay, so likewise, it gives you the alignment option. Okay, at the same time, these tables, now let's say if you want to add something, add another column, that is easily can be done. All you need to do is just select where you want to add the column, and here you can see it gives you some set of features. So if you click on insert right, it would automatically add a column to the right. And if you click on insert left, let's say I want to add a column to the left, I can add a column right now. At the same time, let's say you are adding some more content and you need another row. Simple. Click on add row below, and if you keep on clicking it, it will add multiple rows. Okay. Now, adding is perfect, no? But you need to have the option to delete also. No? It's also the same thing. So let's say if you want to delete a row, you can select the row and you have the option to known as delete. So when you click on this, ideally you will get a drop down where it will ask you what exactly you want to delete, because the system doesn't know what you meant. No? Now in this case, you will see you have 4 different options. One is to delete the cells, or to delete the columns, or to delete the entire row. Okay. Now let's say if I want to clear this text, clear all the text, then I can actually click on delete cells, and likewise it will delete all the cells in that particular row, and it will end up by having only one cell. Okay. But if I really want to delete the row, I can just click on delete the row, just like that. The row will be deleted. Okay. And if I want to delete a column, same thing, I select the column and I click delete columns, and like this the columns can be deleted. Okay. So that's the fun part with tables. And at the same time, if you want to increase or decrease the sizes, you can actually drag and align it according to your need as well. Example is, if you want to increase the width of a column, you can do it like this, or if you want to increase the width of a row, you can drag and increase it like this as well. Right? So that is option number 1. Let me center this. Nice. So then in the book we are jumping into the next point where we merge. So merging is also one quick important thing, because we get to points where we need to merge content inside tables, right? Example is, let's say if you want to merge all 4 of these blocks together and have a single block, you get this type of layouts, right? So simple, all you need to do is just select whatever the area, and you have the merge option. If you right click, if you cell margin width, you have the option of just here merge cells. Okay, either you right click and go for merge cells, or you have the option here known as merge cells. So when you hit this, it will immediately merge the cells together and will give you a single full size cell. Okay, that's the cleanest way of getting it done. Okay. Now what's after that? So after that, you can actually split the cells and create any type of a layout which you want. Example is, let's say if I want to merge these, so what I did was I merged 2 columns and 2 rows. No? Apart from that, we can merge a column, inside a row we can merge 2 columns, or within 2 rows we can merge a single column as well. So all of these are similar structures. See, can merge these 2, I can merge this, and I can merge these 2. See, likewise you do have the option of merging and creating the table as any structure based on any structure you want. Okay, this is quite powerful because you get to create the structure you have in your mind according to the data set. Okay, I hope that part is clear. So in that way, you do have the option of creating different types of tables, and and then now by default this table has its own guidelines, right? So, but there is a way. So some applications, they actually give you the guideline feature where the table will not be technically visible. Okay, it's like this. Now by default in Word, the table design, the guidelines are visible. Okay, so see, under the border styles, you can see the border styles are there, and at the same time, if you click on here, you can see that a simple border, a small simple border is already active. But if you don't need it, you can click on no border, which will then basically remove all the borders of the table itself. Cool. Give me 1 second. Only the guidelines. Cool. See, now we have all the borders, but if I change this to a, hold on, let me have this. Okay, now you can see all the borders are there, right? But if I click on no border, you can see that now the borders are not there, but what you can see is basically a guideline. So if you take a print of this, see, when I zoom in, you can see it's just a small guideline. And if you try to print this, when you are looking at this in the print view, you will not see the guidelines. It will be just a simple set of lines to show where you are currently at. Okay, so that's how the borders and the guidelines works. So yeah, give me 1 second, guys. Hold on. Give it a second. Hold on. Sorry. Yeah. Okay. So I hope the borders are clear, and let's talk about the rest of the points where we talk about shading and headings and subheadings and the activity when it comes to the page, the pagination. Okay, so let's see how it goes. So just for the sake of getting this as a sample, what I'm going to do is I am going to copy paste this text into multiple pages. Okay, so that we will have like 10 pages in the Word document. Okay, so we have 10 pages now. So if you guys want to have a clear view about what are the pages, you can actually click on the under view. You can actually go with the outline, sorry, not the outline. You can go to view and you can see multiple page view, or you can go for the one page, or you can actually go click on this navigation pane icon, this one. Okay, so when you click here, it will give you a clear navigation view of all your pages. So let's say if you are working on a big document with 100, 150, 200 pages, then it's going to be a very hard task for you to go through all the pages, right? Because you will have a lot to. But in this case, when you go forward with the outline, the navigation pane, then you can see the details clearly. Okay, that is how it's going to be displayed. So let's try out the headers, right? So how do we add the headers? In Word, it's quite straightforward adding a header. So all you need to do is you have a clear action option to add the headers, which is known as these headings. So this particular block will be available on all the word processing softwares, including Google Docs and so on and so forth. So how does it work? If you click on this arrow, you can actually see some heading options, right? As well as you might see some subheadings and so on and so forth. So let's stick with the primary heading options, 3 heading options, and I'll show you how it works. So why we need this is, okay, let's talk about why we need this. Primarily, why we need this is when you are building a big document, then there has to be some sort of a way for you to have a list of items, right? So a full list of items should be available. Otherwise, it's not going to let the users understand and read what you're going to make, right? Let's say, okay, so while we were writing documents when I was in the university and all, we wrote documents for like 150 200 pages. So without having an index, it's impossible for somebody to know what is at which location, right? So now, if you are making a big document like that, then if you get to, so let's say if you have to manually create this, then again that's going to be a massive headache, right? Because creating this particular list of items manually will take you a long time, and you also won't know where you have this content, right? Content can be at multiple locations. So what we do is we have the option known as headings. So headings what they do is, headings will allow you to add a text. So let's say page 1, okay, no, first page of the document, I'll call it, I'll call it main topic, okay. So this is going to be the main topic of this first page, right? Then I'll call it subtopic 1, right? Then let's go forward with this into these pages. So let's say I'll call it subtopic 2, right? And subtopic 3, okay, let's make this another main topic, main topic 2, subtopic 1. Then I'll call this subtopic 2, and this one, let's say subtopic 3, okay. Then main topic 3, subtopic 1, subtopic 2, and so on and so forth, okay. Now we added the topics. Now we need to find a way to add the topics into the system, right? The system should recognize this is a topic and this is a subtopic, right? How to do that? It's quite easy. We use headings. So we select the main topics and we set the main topics as heading 1s, okay. Now here when I select this automatically got highlighted. Now you can see when I click on this, it will show the directed heading type. See, it says main topic 1. And if I select this one, still we do not have anything. So for that, let's add heading 2. Okay. So I'm just going to remove this. Now perfect. So we have main topic and we have subtopic 1. Let's add the content likewise, okay. So subtopic 2. So all you need to do is just Just simple, add the headings, nothing more, nothing less. Okay, subtopic 3. Now again we got a main topic. Okay, I'll add the subtopic again. Okay, subtopic 2, it's taking some time. Okay, perfect. Now I added the topics. Now the details are added. Okay, so looks good. Now let's see what we can do. Now the text is added. Now quite straightforward. All we need to do is, as you can see, we just added all the topics, right? And then what we need to do is we can go into the options and we can create a table of content. So simple, we just need to go to the beginning of the page and then we go into insert option, and here we have the option of adding a, first of all, adding a page number, right? So let's go here and then let's add the page number. So I click on page number and I'm going to add this in the bottom footer. Okay, that's easy. Now it's added. Now you can see now the page numbers are visible. See 1, 2, 3 and so on and so forth. Okay. So next point is now the numbers are also added. Perfect. Now we need to create a table of contents. How do you do this? You go to references, and inside the references we have this option called insert table of figures. Okay. Now since we added the header tags, headings, now all we need to do is you use the insert of table of figures, you click here, and this will give you a certain set of options as figures. Okay. So you can either go with a figure, you can go with a table, or basically you have multiple different type of figures which you can add. Okay. So quite straightforward. If you want to add the table of figures, you can go forward this. But in this case, I'm just going to use the table of contents, which is here, which will then give us the table of contents index. Okay. So here what I'm going to do is I'm just going to select a bit of a modern, let's say a formal layout. Okay. When you select this, what happens is it automatically gives you the table of contents. Okay. Now, yes, this is something which you cannot, it's impossible to do manually unless you create a small page. If it is like a multi-page document, you will never be able to add this properly, right? So in this case, this is how it works. Now let's sort this out. Now see the magic. Now you can see the numbers. It starts from 1, 1, 2, 2, 3, and likewise, right? If we change something, let's say, let's take this down. Okay, I took it down, and now this is on the second page now, but the table of content is still, it says first, right? You click here and you can see that it gets navigated to the table of contents topic. So all you need to do is you click on the top, and here you get this option, and you click on table of contents, and you have the option of updating the table. Okay, so all you need to do is just click update table and update the pages menu. So this is asking whether the pages or the entire table, sorry, page numbers or the entire table. So I'm just going to click update the entire table, and when you click OK, the number gets updated. So likewise, you can keep the table up to date. So whenever you make a change, the table will automatically update as long as you use the headings. So header 1 and header 2 and header 3, all these must be properly used. Okay, then it will basically let you build the page accordingly. Okay, so I hope it's clear. Guys, give me 2 minutes. I'll get some water and come. Hari, share. Oh. Hello. Yeah, sorry. Okay, so we were talking about the headings, right? Nice. Okay, so the next point we have is, so now we actually jump out of this and we talk about templates. Okay, so see, WordPress, when it comes to word softwares, they are actually quite popular with templates. So the idea behind a template is that, now let's say, if you take, if you are making a document, let's say a school document, which is something like a document which you need to submit to the school, or let's say you're creating an invoice, or let's say something like an official document, you need to spend time on creating the template, right? Sometimes there can be requirements for a template where you might need to add something like a logo, or company details, or some specific information here and there, right? That is that's a very time taking, like it will take some more time for you to make it if you are trying to do it on your own, right? But yes, obviously, yes, possible, it's possible to do it. But then again, Word gives you a few options where you can actually create from a template. So let's see how it goes. So I am going to close this document. I will send this, I'll share this document on the chat itself. Give me 1 second, I'll send the document. Yeah, I just sent the document on WhatsApp, the one I just worked on. Okay, now let's see how these templates work. So when you click on Word, you will get a screen like this. So the screen which is there in your document, that is an older version of Office. So here what I am using is a newer recent version. Okay, so here you get the home, and then under the temp on the top you can see it actually shows some templates. Okay, now if you click on more templates, you can see it has a certain set of templates automatically pre-built, comes out of the box, right? Okay, let's say you are doing you have gone on a trip and you want to create a journal about the trip. You can select one of the templates and let's see how it goes. When I click on create, see, it automatically creates a base template for you. So now the colors and the headings, subheadings, text, and all these things are already pre-built. Okay, so you don't have to do anything. You just need to just start typing and put text, and you start building your layout. Okay, that's how we use the template. As well as when you are using the template, you might be able to use you might get the requirement to have a header and a footer as well, right? So the header and the footer is also something very important which you need. So let me show you a small example. So I'm just going to close this and delete. I'll open up our previous document. Okay, so headers and footers, you have two ways of adding this. So first is, you can actually, in this particular area, you can double click. Okay, if you double click, you can see automatically you are taken to a header tab which will let you type something on the header. Okay, so let's say I'll put something like this: Edexcel IGCSE ICT, and now I have the option of closing the header. Okay, so when I close the header, see what happened. So now the text is kind of grayed out, right? Grayed out, but see what happened. Now since I added this as a header, that is getting added to all the pages. So whatever the page we have in the system, it has the header in it. Okay, so it's quite interesting and easy. And at the same time, let's say you want to add a footer also. Cool. Inside the footer, it's the same concept. All you need to do is you just need to, the easiest way is to basically double click. Otherwise, when you go to insert, inside the insert, you do have an option called footer. Okay, now since we have already added a number, you can actually double click and you can open up the footer area as well. So inside the footer, let me add something like this. I'll add my name. Okay, and again, either you can close it from here or you can double click outside the footer area and that gets saved. So now you can see the header and the footer both are added and it is part of the document. See, it's part of the document and it gets displayed all throughout the template, all throughout the document. Okay, so that's the simplest, easiest method of adding a header and a footer. Okay, so that's actually quite easy to do this as well, and then we can see how it is structured. Okay, so that is about headers and footers, and I just did this as well, page numbers. We did the page numbers, and then we have one more point about document elements. So the document elements are also something simple where you will use on day-to-day basis, because now let's say if you are adding some sort of an image, then document elements will let you add it. Example is, let's say if I need to add an image here, I can actually go to insert, and under insert I have few options: pictures, shapes, icons, 3D models. See, you can add 3D models, you can add smart art, see, different types of arts like this. Okay, and you have a certain set of random elements which you can place. So these elements can be multiple different things. So they do act as different elements where you can add new text, art, and buttons, and so on and so forth. So there's a lot of different options which it gives you through the system. So try this out. You have multiple different options which you get videos, screenshots, images, as well as I showed you, tables, text boxes, and all sorts of features which comes out of the box. Plus you have the shapes. So like as what I just inserted, that was not a shape, but if you go into shapes, insert, and if you select shapes, here you can actually get different shapes. See, you can center it, and you can increase the size of it as well. And the fun part is, all of these shapes, if you double click, you can actually get the shape format option. So here you have the option of filling the shape, changing the colors, and let's say changing the shapes, colors, alignment, all sorts of features are there. Basically it comes out of the box. Okay, so try this out. It gives you a lot of features, and you might be able to use it for different types of purposes to build different elements. Now, okay, next point. Yeah, so that's the shapes, and we went through the templates. And newsletters, you guys, I showed you how to create the 3 columns layout. So based on the number of columns, now we can actually come up with a particular flow, right? So this is all based on the number of columns we have, and then we can add the details there, right? Okay, so that is one option. Then let's jump in and see. I'm not going to like create this, but you guys can go through it and try to build this structure and see how it works. Because since it's a practical thing, I'm just going to go jump through it fast. Okay. Yeah, okay, so we have another option. Okay, so you guys try that out, and then we have this concept called mail merge. Okay, mailings means it's actually in a way decided in a way where you can actually create, if you're, let's say, creating a newsletter, and if you plan to send this to multiple people, then you have this option called mail merge, which will allow you to personalize an email. So what you do is you create one email, and you have the option to personalize it. You have the option to personalize this mail and send it to multiple people when you want to do this. So how is basically straightforward. All you need to do is you just need to come up with a data set, and then from that data set you can set the locations. In the sense, now in this case you can see title, first name, surname. So these are all locations, and then based on this data set it will automatically populate it. Okay, so it's like this. Now let's say if you are trying to print a letter and send it to a bunch of your customers, then when you are trying to print this letter, it's a bit of a hassle where, let's say if you have 100 customers, you will have to create 100 individual letters, right? Which is going to be a very hard task, because you will have to make sure that all 100 letters are the same, and you'll have to double check it and see multiple files and so on and so forth. So that is going to be a very hard task to actually manage, right? But in this case, when you use mail merge, you can actually create a database, some sort of a database at a certain point, and then or you can get the data from a spreadsheet, which is an Excel sheet, and set this up. So technically when you export it, when you use the mail merge feature, then see it will say letters, and then it will basically let you create individual emails or letters, newsletters for all the customers you have. So technically you don't have to you don't have to worry about typing it back to back to create these templates. So that's the part behind mail merge, and then we finish the part for Word. Okay, so then we jump into something else where we talk about graphics. Okay, so let's see what is this graphic thing is. Okay, so give me 1 second, I'll switch the screen and we can jump up. Yes. So what are these graphics? So graphics. Now, when it comes to documents and whatnot, all the type of graphical items. Give me 1 second. Yeah, sorry, I just want to get my cursor active. Yeah, perfect. So graphics plays a big role when it comes to creating interfaces and different types of documents, and anyway anything related to digital products, we need to have graphics, right? So how does it work? Now, when it comes to office tools, we do use there are few tools which we use, like Microsoft Paint, or in this case we do have Google Drawings, as well as in LibreOffice, this OpenOffice, we do have a tool called LibreOffice Draw. Okay, so what they do is they allow you to actually create different types of graphics according to your graphical need. Okay, so technically the learning objective will be for us to learn what is a bitmap and a vector, and to understand how we can actually create an image and to start it or to use it with our documents and processors. So features of image types. Okay, now we have two different types of images. Primarily we have bitmaps, and the second one is vectors. Okay, so in the internet, when you look at all the images which you can see when it comes to a website and all, it must be either a bitmap or it must be a vector image. Okay, so the difference between bitmaps and vectors, mainly a bitmap is an image which is being created using a certain set of binary bits. Okay, so here you can see, now if you take this particular image, the resolution, this one, you can see it's an image with 9 squares, right? So it means 3 by 3. So this is a small 3 by 3 bit image, right? And the large one, you can see that is more accurate because that has 256 pixels, which is a pixel grid, which you can see here, right? So this is the pixel grid, and depending on the size of the pixel grid, automatically the quality also increases, right? So that means the higher the number of pixels, higher the quality will be. So if a bitmap image or a graphic is enlarged, then as you know, each pixel must be enlarged as well. Okay, so that means if the image is enlarged too much, then what happens? These individual pixels starts to become visible, right? That's why when you zoom in to a pixel like a bitmap, you tend to see there will be a certain point where you will tend to see its pixels. Okay, so even if you take this this particular document, so this document is actually scanned, and if I try to increase this document, you can see it's getting blurred, plus at the same time these small pixels starts to get visible. Okay, so the thing is, now each and every image is built on pixels, and based on the number of pixels the quality goes higher. But other way around, when you take vector graphics, a vector graphic works in a different way, where it is actually a graphic which created based on coordinates. Okay, so you have x and y coordinates which will basically draw this image. Now here you can see in this particular image, you can see in this image, these lines are actually drawn using code. Okay, so even if you increase it, you can see that drawing is actually something which is generated. So when it comes to vectors, the best fundamental point behind vectors is it will make it easy for you to enlarge and expand the image as much as possible, because why? You don't have to redraw it, so that is automatically being drawn or created by the code itself. Okay, so vector images can be used to create image styles that are technically different to achieve using a bitmap, so that and at the same time you might see all these different types of 3D cartoons and all. So those type of cartoons and those type of colored 3D objects are technically created using vectors. Okay, so vectors allows you to build more high quality images, as well as you guys should know, when you are building or when you are creating something like architectural diagrams and any sort of a specific diagram or high quality diagrams, you must use vectors, because only vectors can sustain a resolution without getting distorted or blurred based on similar to bitmaps. So mainly we use this for illustrations, let's say landscapes and different computer games and all these different types of events. We use vectors because it's easier, as well as example is logos, company logos, business logos, animations, all these things are based on vectors. Okay, now so that's the core concept about bitmaps and vectors. So just do a little bit of research on this. So in simple terms, you just need to keep in mind, if you try to enlarge a bitmap, then that means it is going to, since it is structured in a set of pixels, if the image is enlarged, then it will start to get pixelated. Bitmaps other way around, even if you try to expand it or enlarge it, it will not change. Okay, now creating images. So this thing, guys, I'm just going to go through it because this is about using Microsoft Paint and drawing tools. So I'm just going to go through this and explain how it works, but you can try this out. I'm pretty sure I don't. You will have to practice this and see how it works. But then again, I will not go through Paint and show you how to draw diagrams in it, right? Okay, so in this case, now basically out of the box, Word supports drawing diagrams, squares and circles and all these vectors out of the box from the system itself, so you don't have to do any custom drawing. So example is you can actually get a line, you can get a box like this and you can fill the box with colors, and you can set the box borders as well, right? So the border thickness and all these features are available inside the module, inside that module. And basic terms, now example is here, you can see using this set of inbuilt let's say shapes, you can actually build a nice image, not a great high quality image, but it allows you to build a good image based on a certain set of characters or elements which you can use. Okay, so that is an option, and based on this they do have options where you can actually draw the vectors and you can create a full graphic. So example, in this image you can see all these lines, these curved lines and the colors and all these things can be created as vectors. So the fun part is once you draw this, once you create this at once, that is done. So you can scale it up as much as possible and still the resolution and the colors and everything will stay as it is. Okay, so this is how we create images. Okay, so yeah, and then yes, so then based on the images we do have some options. So that is about creating images, and then editing images is almost another type of things. So if you take an image, you should be able to edit it using multiple color, like you should have the basic editable features when it comes to image, right? Now it can be a rotation, it can be a resizing, it can be a recoloring, and all sorts of options are technically given to you out of the box. So if you take this example, when you select an image, if you do this in Word or any other softwares, you do have a rotation point here, and you can take the image and using the rotation you can rotate it, plus you have the option of changing the orientation and the size. So let's see how it works. I'll put a sample image on Word, and let's try that out. Okay, hold on. So let's get Word, and inside Word, let me add an image. So let's download an image. Oops, sorry. Okay, let's get this guy. It's not that high quality, you know? What about this guy? Okay, I got it downloaded, and let's do something like this. So to add an image, how do you do this? It's quite straightforward. You go into Insert, and you have Pictures, and you have the option called photo browser or picture from file. So if you go to photo browser, it will ask you to give access to allow to load the photos from your albums. But here what I'm going to do is I'm just going to insert it from pictures. I'm going to select from picture from file, and then when I go into my desktop, I should be able to select this, but let's see. I think it has not saved. Okay, open image. Okay, let me save this. Nice, it got saved now. So going back to pictures, picture from file, and why isn't it getting selected? So okay, let me take a screenshot. That would be easier. Okay, taking the screenshot, done. Okay, let's open the screenshot. Sometimes, yes, as you can see here, sometimes when you download direct images, sometimes it will not let you add it. Okay, so now see, now the image got added. Now let's say this is what we saw in the document. So when you click on one of the edges, you can actually resize the picture. Oh, hold on, it enlarged it. Hi you. So the picture is actually too large. Let me change it. So either you can click and drag. Okay, either you can click and drag, as you can see here, resize handles, but in this case the picture is too huge, too large. So then what you can do is, when you click on the picture, you get this picture format option. Okay, so you click here, picture format, and you can change the size from here. Okay, you can easily change the size, as well as you get a lot of features. You get let's say if I leave it like this, we have the crop feature also. So if you want to crop this, you can click on crop, and you have the option of manipulating the picture like this. Okay, and now I cropped it. Now all I need to do is just press enter, and perfect. Now we have a cropped image. Okay, as well as, let's say if I want to rotate this guy, you can see on top here we have the option of you can click on this and you can rotate. See, so the rotation option is also available. You can change it according to any size when to whatever you want, and that will let you edit it. Okay, so that's the resizing and the dragging part, as well as you have the you have different aspect ratios, which is what you saw here, right? So based on this, you can change the ratio. So I just did the cropping as well, and so that is about the Word options. Also, there are some few options or plugins in Word. So if you select an image, you can see some options here. See, you have this option called corrections. So see, so under corrections, it actually gives you some color corrections. See, you can increase the brightness, you can increase the sharpness, right? As well as it gives you some color options. See, you can change the colors, you can make it black and white, you can add more color variations are there, as well as there are some artistic effects also. So these are some effects which comes inbuilt from Word itself, so that you can actually try them out. Okay, nice. So these are the options which you have in Word. Okay, now let's jump back to this and see. So yes, I do not have Microsoft Paint running on this because I'm using a Mac machine. So it's quite straightforward, guys. You can just try this out and see. So now what I showed you was what are the options we have on Word. But after that, let's say if you take this Microsoft Paint. So in Paint, you have options where you can open an image, and then you have some brushes, and literally you can actually brush, and you can select the colors and you can change the colors. So Microsoft Paint will actually give you a lot of sub features where you can edit and change images. But in an actual scenario, I do not recommend you to. So if you want to edit some pictures, don't use Word because don't use Word and don't use Microsoft Paint because they are like simple basic tools to do it. So if you want to do this in a professional level, then there are some professional tools like Adobe Photoshop and photo editing tools. Basically, they will give you a lot more features than what you get on Windows Paint. Okay, Microsoft Paint. So that will actually let you create new things, as well as it will allow you to make sure that you control your like what we call it, like colors and patch things and so on and so forth. So all these things can be managed entirely using those softwares. Super. So that's it for the Word and the graphics. Now we talk about presentations. Now presentations are again something which we will be using on day-to-day basis, right? So why do we need presentations? We basically use presentations for almost mainly we use presentations for, let's say, to explain something to someone, right? Or we use presentations to provide a clear view to someone who is there in the audience, so that you can explain why or what you are trying to deliver, right? Okay, so in this case, so if you take this particular class, now I'm technically doing a presentation to you guys, right? So I'm doing a presentation, and as presentation tools, what I use is I use my now since this module involves in practical classes to go through softwares, I am using these softwares as my presentation tools, right? So I use Word and this PDF file and official documentation and everything, right? So I use those as my presentation tools. In another different way, let's say if you have to do a presentation to the school as let's say about some sort of a specific activity, or let's say you are doing a presentation for let's say not school, to do something like a community service project or a school project, then you have to explain your principal and other teachers about what you are planning to do, as well as how you are planning to do it. So in that type of a case, in that type of a situation, the presentation is a must, right? Otherwise, you can't just go out there and tell them, I'm going to do this. It's not going to work out. No, you have to tell them, this is how we are going to do it. These are the steps which we will be following, and so on and so forth, right? Otherwise, it will not give a clear idea for the person who is looking at it, right? So in that type of a way, we just need to be careful, because our presentation, the details and the structures should be done properly, so that they will get the idea. So presentations are usually made up of multiple slides, and they are usually displayed on a large screen, where each side will contain different text and images, right? So content, of course, will be related to the presentation, as well as each slide will or should draw the attention, right? In this case, now example is like, if I do a presentation, it will not draw your attention to it, right? Now I am standing in front of the presentation, so when I do it like this, it automatically draws your attention, because see, you can see somebody is like moving their hands, and they are standing in front, right? So that will let you see how it works. So here, let's jump in and see how to create a presentation and what are the options we have when it comes to presentations. So mainly we'll be using Microsoft PowerPoint, or you have couple of presentation softwares which you can use, which will basically give you the option of creating a template. So let's see where we can start this with. So primarily we need to have a template, right? So templates and master slides. So this is what we call them. So templates and master slides. So a template, when it comes to a presentation, a primary requirement would be to have a consistent layout. Okay, so your layout should be 100% consistent, and the structure of it, how you explain it, must be consistent as well. So this involves colors, animations, like what do you call it, not even animations, colors, animations, music, videos, all these things factors in, so that we can come up with a proper final layout, right? So let's see how it works. So templates and master slides. So this is where we start off with. Okay, so we basically get a slide, and in this particular slide we start with selecting a template. So when we select the template, then we do have the option of selecting multiple different themes. So you can actually have a set of themes which will be used for the template, and when we use these themes, it will then let you show and display the template according to this particular theme. Okay, and then it will show you how these slides works. So let's jump back in to PowerPoint, and I'll show you how it works. So I'm going to start Microsoft PowerPoint. Okay, nice. So in PowerPoint, we do have few options. So this is what we just saw, where we have the themes. Okay, so we can go into themes, and here when you go into themes, you get a certain set of out of the box pre-built templates. Okay, see, so these are the templates which we have, and let's select a basic template. Let's do something like what shall we select? Shall we select this one, droplet? Okay, nice. Okay, so now I selected a template, a theme. Okay, now you can see this is just going to be the base template of the system. Okay, now here when you click on this new slide drop down, you can see it actually gives you a certain set of templates, right? So this is the same thing which you saw here. Okay, now since we have the master base template, now we can add a certain set of sub templates according to this particular slide. Now this is the base slide. Let's say if we need a content with a caption, see, now it gives you another slide. Let's add another one. Let's add another one with 3 pictures. See, now when you add this, it's actually quite easier. Now the template, now the structure is there now. So let's add something. Welcome to my presentation presented by, let's say, Vipula. Okay, now here content 1, this is the slide content for the first let's say first part of the presentation. Okay, now you can either add text or you can add an image as well. let's get our good old chameleon. See how fast I just did this, right? So that's why we get the templating feature. So we can, just like that, very fast we can add the templates into the system. So when this is added, then we can actually come up with the structure. So let's see this master layout thing. So when you go into a slide, yeah, you can either go with the master layer, or you have these designs. And what I thought was showing you, yeah, we can actually use the designs, and from there we can come up with multiple design structures to go with the slides. So we do have the layout options as well, and as well as, let's say if we go here, you can add layouts, and here also you have the option of adding sections too. So you can add different sections, and you can create different parts of the table, sorry, presentation, by just adding the details. Okay. So quickly jumping to the next point. So it's almost similar to this one. So you can create, you can put an image and you can get the details, and after that you can add pictures, and this is what I showed using Word. So you have the option of formatting the picture and getting multiple pictures done, as well as you can change the colors, you can add wash effects, as this is what I showed you before. Okay. And then based on the colors and text, you have the option of placing the text inside the blocks, which is inside the presentation, like as what I just did now. Okay. And then these texts are also customizable, right? You can actually create fonts, select font sizes, increase, decrease, and do all sorts of alignment changes to this according to your requirement, okay, based on your slide. As well as these blocks, these, so they are just a template, they are not fixed. So example is, see, I can reduce the size, and if I want, I can change the location of these blocks also. See, I can change it, and I can increase the sizes, I can do anything I wish I want in the base template itself. Okay. So that is how that structure works. Okay. Nice. So now then we need to think about the activities. Okay. So the activities are the primary actions which this will basically let us walk through the system. Okay. So let me show how it works. Now inside the presentations, let's say I'll just duplicate this slide. I'm just going to duplicate this slide into, let's say, 4 slides. Okay. Slide content 1, slide content 2, 3, and 4. Okay. I created 4 slides, and let's say when I click on the presenter button, so I'm not going, let's go to reader view. See, now here by going back and forth, I can actually go to the links, right? You can see the number gets changed, right? Number 1, 2, 3, 4 changes, right? But I am navigating by just clicking on the slide, so that is okay. But technically, when you're building a platform, a slideshow, you should have some sort of a navigation, right? So for the navigation, what we do is, we do have something called navigation buttons. Okay. So now be careful, this feature is only available in PowerPoint, and it does not support in other, it does have the support, but not exactly the way this works in PowerPoint. Okay. So let's see how it works. So when you go into shapes, this one, it actually has a set of different buttons called action buttons. So these are the action buttons on the bottom. Okay. Now if I add one of these buttons, here, okay. Immediately when I add this, I get this pop-up and it asks where I want this button to take the user when they click on it. So here in this case I am selecting next slide and I click OK, and let's put this here, okay, and let me copy and paste it in all the slides, okay. Nice. So it has, okay, so we pasted it in all the slides. Let's add another button, right? So we need to have, so that is to go forward now. So let's add a button to go back, previous. Okay, I'll try to make it as better as well. And then previous slide. So just leave it as it is, previous slide. Now it's perfect. So let's add the button, copy and paste, paste and paste. Now we have a navigation. Let's see how it works. Now I'm on the 4th slide, and when I click on this, it goes back. Okay, so when I click here, it goes forward. When I click here, it goes back, right? Okay, so that is how you create the navigation. Now, let's say if we want to add another slide with a navigation to go through the entire presentation. Okay, so let me set as navigation and let's delete this and make this smaller. Okay, and we'll set it here. Okay, now let's say we need to have a navigation to go through all 4 pages. How to do this? So you go into navigation, and here you can actually put some action buttons, or you have another option. Okay, you can actually insert some text. Okay, let me go to insert and let's insert a text box. Slide 1. So let me copy this, and then when I click on this, under the insert I do have a feature called link. Okay, so when I click on link, it will ask me whether I need to link a website. Okay, now in this case, no, I do not need to link any website. What I will do is I will link this slide 1 inside into another slide. Okay, so in this case I select slide 1 and done. Okay, so we'll do the same thing, slide 2, slide 3 and slide 4. 2, 3 and 4. Okay, so let's check the links. So it would be 2. Here the link would be 3. Here the link would be 4. Okay, now let's see how it works. Now I created the navigation. Now see, when I move my mouse over the links, it shows me a navigation. Okay, like simple as that. Now when I click on this slide, it will automatically take me to slide 2. And if I click on slide 3, it will automatically take me to slide 3, right? Perfect. That's how the links work. But again, now we have another problem, right? Because now I'm on slide 3, but I need to go back to the home page. Now in this case, I'll have to click the back button couple of times, right? In this case, if you go to slide 4, you will have to click the back button 4 times in order to go back. So let's fix that as well, right? So let's add another home button in the slides. So you go here, you click on home, and let's add the home button on top. Okay, then here let's send it to the navigation slide. Simple as that. Okay. Now let's copy this and paste it into all the rest of the slides like this. Nice. So now let's run this and see. Okay. Oops, sorry. Yep. Okay. Now I click on slide number 4, and nice, I do have the back and forth buttons, as well as now I have the home button, right? So when I click on the home button, it takes you back to the navigation. See, this is how we use the links. So using the links, you can actually create as much as navigation options within the system. So this is how you keep your audience hooked into the template and the presentation, because then you click on things, and when you plan the presentation fully, you can navigate through the presentation and you can make sure your audience exactly understands what we are currently doing. Okay, let me save this and Edexcel practical presentation, and I will send this presentation on chat. Cool. Oh, sorry. Okay, yeah, I sent it on the chat. So that's how the presentation and the navigations work. Okay, so now after that, as I said, you just need to set it up, and then you can actually get it up and running in different versions. So we have this full screen version of running it, like full screen view, or we can have an individual view using a windowed solution, or there is an option called browse at a kiosk option, where it will be a full screen, so that using a touch screen display you can actually run a presentation and get that thing active. Okay, so that is how it will basically work, right? Okay, so that's how the system works. And then yeah, vocabularies, and yeah, then we jump into animations. Okay, so animations is something different which we'll try out now. So animation, so far I hope it's clear. So this is the hyperlinks part which we just saw. So animations, I will quickly go through this. So animations basically allows you to add different animations to different elements in the presentation. Okay, it is a quite straightforward feature where you can actually add some more features. Example is, now let's say if we take this image of the chameleon and you go into animations, and then it has 3 different types of animations given to you by the system. Okay, one is the entering animations, the other one is, say, according to this, you have different animations for getting in and getting displayed. So let's try this out, each and every item, and see. So if we select an appearing animation, so let's say if we use fly in, see, you can see, you can actually see the animation itself running there itself. See, so it works like this. Okay, otherwise you have some animations where it will work in different orders. See, you have spinning, you have transparency animations, you have a massive lot. So pulse, see, so you have different types of animations, and then you have, so these are in entry animations and these are exit animations. On top of it, we do have the certain set of animations which is active. Example is this pulse animation. You can see if you add this on click pulse. Okay, see, when you add this and if I run it, see, when I click on it, oops, what? Cool. Delete it. Yeah, okay, it's on click. Let's run it and see. So on click, so just for the first on click, it will have the animation, right? Now let's say if we want to add an entry animation, we can do fly in, okay, and an exit animation, we can do something like this, okay. So let's see how it goes. The fly in animation didn't get in. Okay, fly in and exit. Okay, now if we run this, let's see how it works. So when I go to the first slide, animation is there and the exit animation is also there, but the fly in animation should be on the top. So first fly in to previous, then on click, and this is yeah, this we can leave it as it is. Then let's see how it goes. Okay, see, now if I go back and if I go to slide 1, that's because I just started it. But if I come from here, okay, now nothing. When I click on slide 1, you get the pop-up slide in, and then if I click on this, it will do animation. And if I click on next, if I click on this again to go to the next one, that goes out. Okay, so that's how the animations work. So you have multiple ways of adding the animations, and these are known as transitions, right? So these transitions, you can see the transition pane. So here when you have the transition, see 0, 1, 2, 3 transitions are there. These all 3 transitions, when you click on one of these blocks, you will get the transition pane on the side, and in this transition pane you will see the different types of transitions on how it works, right? So you click on this and then it will basically move to the next one, right? You have you have the action, you have the duration, and also there's like path animation also. You have this animations where you can rotate and so on and so forth. I'll show you guys some cool animations which you can do. See the types of animations which you can do. So this is on PowerPoint. You can do some massive stuff on PowerPoint. You select, you add different colors. See how this guy does it. So he has a text and he inverts that text somehow. Shapes, see, subtract. See how it works. And then he does an animation. Morph. See how it works, right? So these are like high-end animations. So you have like lot of different. I saw one animation. Yeah, check this one now. So you make a slide, and then you make some tiles. See how it works. See, just by using the default default options in PowerPoint. See how it works. Just by using the default options, nothing more, nothing less, you can do a lot. So just search on YouTube as PowerPoint animation. See this one. See, these are the types of animations which you can do. So transitions are extremely powerful. No? You just need to practice it and learn how you can build this up. See, now they are like different types of presentations as well. See how he does it. Okay. All different types of cappuccinos as well. Okay, once it's done, see how it works. So these are all done by transition. So what I can suggest is you guys can obviously go through this, find out the available types of like transitions which is there. I believe the best resource would be to do a search on YouTube and find out all the available options you have, and then try out and see how it works. Okay. Now, okay, so perfect. And then let's just go through print as well, and then we can wrap it up for today. So I'm checking this out. So print is also almost the same thing. Now, when it comes to slides presentations, you have multiple printing options. So you can print it as single pages, as well as you can actually get the layouts, and you can print it in multiple slides. Okay. So you have an option of printing, like when you are printing it, you have an option of selecting multiple slides. So first one is you can select either one slide per page, or you can select 3 slides per page, or likewise you have the option of adding multiple slides. So you do have this handout type of method where it will basically allow you to print multiple slides per single page. Okay, so that is about the prints. And then finally we have the notes. So notes means, like when you are doing a presentation, you might have to look at something, right? So this is known as the lecture notes. Okay, so lecture notes, how it works is, it will allow you to put some notes in your slides. So example is, here on the bottom you can see that there's a thing called add some notes. Okay, so when you add the notes here, what happens is, when you put the presentation, when you start the presentation, these notes will be visible to you under a section called lecture or presenter notes. Okay, so now let's say if you're creating a presentation for something, a subject which you don't know, right? Then it can be a slight problem, right? No, not a problem. You might feel that there are some points which you don't know, right? So during the presentation, if you forget something, there's no way of like, you don't have the option to go through a document and read and present it back again. No? So in that case, what you will do is, we will add the presenter notes here, and in the presenter notes we will add all these points specifically mentioned, so that when you look at it, it will give you a let's say it will remind you what is required to do, and will help you remember what is pending. Right? Okay, so that's so wrapping up that, we finish up the presentations as well. Okay, now next time is to jump into web authoring, where we will be creating some HTML code. Okay, so for this we will move this for our next class. So hopefully I'll send this message on the chat. So we'll do a cover up class on Wednesday, so that I will do the web authoring, because when it comes to web authoring, we need to start building like a web app itself. So here this says to use something like Adobe Dreamweaver, But I will show you guys a couple of tools which will make it easy, like something like Composer, where you can actually download and create some HTML. Okay, so it's actually quite straightforward and easy, but you just need to make sure that you know how to write the codes. Okay, so there are some specific points when it comes to the HTML code. So you don't have to learn very in depth into HTML, but we need to learn how to build the basics. Okay, and how to see how these animations work and how the template HTML can be done like this. Okay, so we'll be jumping back to this one, and so far now we have covered up to the web authoring part. Super. Any questions?
Understood, sir.
Super. Okay. Okay. So, will you be able to join a class on Wednesday?
Uh, I am free on afternoon, not afternoon, evening, sir.
Wednesday evening. Okay. What time?
At 6.
6. Okay. Shall we do it then 6 to 8 Wednesday?
Okay, sir.
Okay.
Sure.
I'll put that on the chat itself. Because Wednesday 6 to 8, because I do have a problem today. We are having a power cut today. So I am running on my generator, and I'm running the generator from the morning. So now I think I'm not sure I'll be able to do the next class today, because I might have to go out and get petrol and fill that up. So that is a problem. What about when Monday? Monday, are you free?
Yes, sir. I'm free.
Monday, at what time?
Exercise ring club. At afternoon.
Monday, Monday, shall we do something like Monday 6 to 8 then?
Okay, sir.
You're okay, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, then let's do it, because I don't think I'll be able to continue this today. So what I'm going to do is I am actually going to do the revision based on the Save My Exams revision set. Okay, so I will download this and will send it to you, so that you can actually take a copy and keep it with you.
Yes, sir. Good. Okay, sir. Bye, sir. Take care, sir.